Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report.
Now $3.99.
Yes, that's right. If you want to get the premium version, just go to... How do you get the premium version?
You go to, either the Apple Podcasts app and you can just subscribe there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or you go to the Acast Plus version, which you can find at...
I think you can just go to chaser.com.au.
You can just go to Chaser.
Podcast.
You can just go to chaser.com.au/podcast and get all the details. Or plus.acast.com/s/the-chaser-report. So yeah, go to chaser.com.au/podcast.
Okay, got some bad news, Dom.
Oh no, what's happened?
My son
has
been watching this YouTuber who makes videos about video games that he plays.
Right.
And they're quite funny video games. They're things like there's a sort of zoo simulator, right, where you can build your own zoo, right? And so this guy makes videos where the zoos do horrific things,
right? So like an actual zoo,
kill all the elephants or something like that, and then drop them from the sky on the customers.
Oh wow!
And anyway,
well, Taronga Zoo did experiment with releasing lions into the community not long ago.
Last night, my 12-year-old looked me squarely in the eye and said to me, and you could tell that he had prepared the lion, and you could tell that he knew what impact it would have. And he said, "Dad, I think this YouTuber is funnier than you."
No.
Yes. He's rebelling.
I mean, Charles, you've done a lot of terrible things in your life. Terrible, very, very many poorly judged things. But you haven't ever made an extremely cruel fake zoo. And that's, I mean, Charles, look, I hate to say this, comedy moves on. Like, it gets edgier. We're not edgy anymore. We're not dropping elephants on customers.
Well, this is, because I said to Angus, well, what do you mean? Why? And he said, well, Dad, you just make jokes about sex and politics on your podcast.
Yeah.
Which I wish we did.
Yeah, we should definitely make more jokes about sex.
But that's his interpretation of what the Chaser Report is just jokes about sex and politics, right?
He doesn't know what sex is, right? Like, he's not confusing like some banter about F45 gyms and stuff for sex. He knows what...
I don't know.
Okay.
I left all the birds and bees.
You didn't want to have that conversation. Okay, I see where the problem is.
Conversation to my wife.
So do we need to embrace this animal cruelty vibe and have more, zoos where things go horribly wrong?
I mean, I think we've been pretty cruel this week. We've talked about killing people to reduce the housing affordability crisis.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we talked up the desolation of koala habitat earlier in the week.
That's right. Yeah,
that wasn't even fictional, like YouTube that was actual koalas that were dying.
But so I asked Angus, well, what jokes should I make on the podcast?
How can you desperately scramble further up in his estimation?
And so Angus had this suggestion. This is honestly what he said. He said, I think you should announce to everyone that Hartley, who's my elder son, has died of cholera.
Cholera.
Yes, that was his joke. So I wanted to share that with you.
Do you want to announce that?
Yeah, look, I just a bit of sad news actually, Dom. During the week, my son died of cholera.
It's not the most contemporary references in Australia. I don't want to minimise cholera. Cholera is still a huge problem in much of the world.
Yes.
It's a horrible way to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Massive diarrhea, basically. He shat himself to death, is what Angus is asking you to announce. How did your older son respond?
I mean, it is a comedic way to go. I haven't told Hartley. No,
he's died of cholera.
Yeah. So,
okay.
But there you go. So there you go. Look, it's sort of non sequitur, but I just thought I should tell you that today I'm a little bit shaken up and a bit disturbed.
I presume it's not the notion of your son dying of cholera. It's the content of you being less funny than
this the YouTuber.
Animal cruelty YouTuber.
But you should see his YouTube. Like, I kind of agree. Like, out of 10, this YouTube. Like, we were laughing out loud.
I mean, isn't the sort of content we're supposed to be doing now playing video games on Twitch? We're doing
Okay.
Why aren't we playing video games on Twitch?
Because we're not very good at video games.
That is a factor.
Yeah.
Although, Charles, I must say, there is a lot to be said for kind of just talking up content in real time. There's something I want to talk to you about.
Oh, okay.
Which is that I think we should, for the podcast, see a movie and then review it either during the movie or after the movie.
Wait, we did this back in 1999.
I know, we did it on the radio.
Challenge Chaz. It was one of the first stunt-based segments that we ever did. It was on Triple M. And one of the things we challenged him to do, I've still got the recording of it, was go into Hoyt's in George Street and review a movie in real time. And the thing is, everyone got annoyed with him, but the recording equipment didn't really capture that. So he just got sort of like aggressively shoved off mic.
That's true. But Charles, the movie that I want us to interact with, I think it's perfect for this. Have you heard of a film called Cocaine Bear?
Ah, yes.
Here's a little bit of the trailer.
The bear, it fucking did cocaine. A bear did cocaine.
There was a bear.
A bear?
It was 4.
Hey, that's inappropriate.
Have you got the premise for the film? Yeah, Charles?
Well, no.
Is it clear enough?
Now, can I just clarify? Is this a documentary or a fictional thing? Because my understanding is it's based on a true story.
It says based on a true story.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it's a documentary.
I mean, it sounds like snakes on a plane is what it sounds like. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They've got some incredible CGI scenes of like a cocaine powder fluttering in the air like pure snow, and the bear just going, and trying to. And there's also a scene where the bear swallows an entire brick of cocaine.
So, there's so many questions.
There's so many questions.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think you're right. I think we need to do it in real time.
we should go and do a review in the cinema.
But is it one of those things where we'll be so captivated and we'll suspend such disbelief that we won't be able to commentate?
Well, we might have to
in
do
real
it
time?
just afterwards, so we'll have to see. But it just we're
Maybe
just in
we
the
should-
wrong business.
We should take 5 kilos. Was it 5 kilos of
It's a
cocaine
massive amount of cocaine, whatever it is.
before we see it?
Yeah.
Just to sort of,
Just to get in the headspace.
Yeah.
Well, because it just makes me think, I mean, why aren't we sitting in a room somewhere coming up with the idea for Cocaine Bear? I mean, you've got two. It's a simple concept. You take two ideas people enjoy.
Yeah. Which is what?
Which is, well, bears eating people.
Oh, yeah,
exciting
I see. Yeah,
monster
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Plus people having massive amounts of cocaine. I mean, what's not to like? You've basically got Scarface if Scarface was a massive bear.
And did they do much character development with the bear, do you think?
Well, it's a very detailed bit of CGI. I'm hoping it's CGI, by the way.
What's the arc of
See, I couldn't get it from the trailer. The trailer essentially...
look, it sounds to me like it's going to be a tragedy.
There are lots of...
I think
from the bear's perspective.
Yes.
There are lots of shots of the bear mauling people.
You don't eat 5 kilos of cocaine and live to tell the tale.
Well, you might if you're
it's
a
a
bear.
sort of...
It's a morality tale.
It's a modern day Macbeth, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Romeo and Juliet where the Juliet is just cocaine. There's a scene where the bear is licking a cocaine off a dismembered leg.
The Chaser Report.
Now with extra whispers.
Everyone has to see it.
Yeah.
I just want to know, why do we bother with movies that are more complicated? It's going to make all of the money.
Yes.
It's also, it says, the title is perfect. It does what it says on the tin. It's a bear taking cocaine.
But do you think maybe this is the problem with Western civilization, Dom? The sort of dumbification of our entertainment is just leading to a sort of general
is it
rot.
dumbifying, or are we going back to the glory of one of the high points of humanity, Roman times, where the difference is instead of having a CGI bear taking cocaine, they would have just done it with real bears in a ring. So we've come a long way since those days. At least we're experimenting on fake animals for our entertainment these days.
But 1970s was replete with gritty dramas about searing social issues that really went to the heart of the military-industrial complex. I kind of feel like this is a step back from that?
If you wanted to, you could make this a commentary on the cocaine use that's rife in the entertainment business, which I assume is how they developed the story, by the way. Maybe it's a metaphor for the opioid crisis if you really wanted to stretch into something that it in no way is. But, Charles, I've just been thinking, methamphetamine koala.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
a sleepy koala
Yes.
just on a tray. Because we were saying before that they should eat things other than eucalyptus leaves. It's not very nutritious. Or maybe a hash cookie.
Ice caramello. That could be the name of it.
Ice koala. Koala on ice would be the way to do it.
Yeah, but actually, koala on ice is too clever, isn't it?
No, too clever.
It
No,
would just
you gotta, meth koala.
Meth bear.
Meth bear. Okay, you could call it Breaking Bear, but it's too simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it's too complex.
Yeah. No, it's too complex.
Yeah.
We need something. I mean, Snakes on a Plane was a movie about snakes
On
on
a
a plane.
I saw that when it came out.
And that was the movie where the crowd, like the audience,
Yes, it was very entertaining.
sort of social media users wanted the line, "Get these motherfucking snakes off my motherfucking plane" in the movie. And so they added it in.
Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson went back to record that line. And more movies should work that way.
Yes.
I mean, this movie with Kate Blanchett, Tar,
Yes.
you can't tell what it's about from the title.
Yes.
It's got a like an A with an acute accent on it. Even in the name, what even is that?
No,
I don't want to
exactly.
watch that. If you had a conductor on cocaine conducting an orchestra, that would be entertaining.
If only there'd been more drug-based animals in Silence of the Lambs. Like,
Well, there were no actual lambs. That's the
No,
problem.
exactly.
If they'd taken some lambs
Yes.
and given them weed,
Yes.
that would have been...
That would have been much better. They should have. Jodie Foster should have gone back after listening to listener comments.
Yeah.
And re-recorded it.
The spliff of the lambs.
Dope sheep.
Dope sheep. Oh, yeah, that's true. Spliff of the lambs. Yeah. Dope sheep. That's great. 'Cause I think we need the Australian angle. I think that's where we can come into this.
Yeah, because the question is, why are we getting two unknown Australians to produce this movie rather than Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Pratt?
Yeah. LSD platypus.
Well, I mean, I was reading, Tim Flannery's just written a piece in the New York Review of Books about platypi, and they are fascinating animals. They're actually one of the most venomous animals in the world. Did you
There
know?
you go. That can come into
That
it.
could
Yeah,
totally
that can
come into it. Yes, but I suppose the drug has to relate in some way to the fact that the bear was on cocaine.
Yeah.
Is sort of like that's a double disaster because it's like apex predator,
As they say in the trailer, yeah.
meets confidence.
That's true. No, LSD platypus probably isn't scary.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
Well, that's a comedy.
But
It's a sitcom.
It's a sitcom, yeah. Or is it?
They took one platypus.
What about like Ritlin koala? No, Ritlin kookaburra.
Very keen to see Cocaine Bear.
Okay, yes.
And I'm also very keen for all movie titles to be along those lines in future.
Okay, well let's do that. We should contact the distributor and line that up.
Line it up.
And look, if you've got any other suggestions, you can tell that Dom and I clearly didn't run
prepare
out of
any
ideas. No, but I
We
do
just
think,
have to take.
Yeah.
We just have to do what a Hollywood producer would do.
Yeah.
Spend several weeks high
Yes.
brainstorming, and that's where you come up with that.
I don't
Like Cocaine Bear.
You know what it needs to? I think the problem is, I've just worked it out. I don't think it has to necessarily be drugs. It could be something like the koala with nukes. Nuclear armed koala. Or nuclear armed emu. You know, because we've lost one war with the emus. This is
true.
Emu War 2. This time, he's got nukes.
That's good. Actually, there were two. It'd be Emu War 3.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
we lost both of them.
Oh.
We went back for more and lost again. That's a very good. And the emu, I think, is a good.
Yeah, okay.
Or what about emu tank?
See, yeah, because it's soon. I think you work back from the trailer, don't you?
Yeah.
What you want to see is a tank with a little emu head sticking out the top.
So going through the desert,
But
just
with a
flattening
helmet.
town.
Yeah,
with a helmet.
Yeah. That would be very good.
I think we should definitely
Okay,
write
we
that.
are definitely
Now it's
pitching
happening,
that. Yeah.
Emu tank.
Okay, that's
That's
happening.
great. But I still think a koala on ice.
A koala, yeah, no, yeah.
Like a murderous ice-toting koala.
Yes, and how do you make him? You make him dangerous.
Oh, what maybe razor koala with the claws? Are
yes,
just
he's sharpened
a slasher.
his claws. A slasher film.
Yeah, slasher
Yep.
film with a koala.
Yes, and you use that whole drop bear
Oh yeah,
thing where drops down. That's his method of. Yeah, it's koala assassin. Maybe he's a jobbing assassin.
ninja koala. Nobody can see him coming.
You'd get the Japanese audience if you had
would.
a good ninja plotline.
Well, I think we've just solved the podcast's financial position.
I think we've also solved the Australian film industry's problem.
You know, I once actually saw a movie that was based on an idea that people came up with in a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's called Tusk, and it's a film about someone who gets kidnapped by a madman and transformed into a walrus.
Right.
It's made by Kevin Smith.
See, the problem is they didn't give the walrus any cocaine.
If it had been Cocaine Walrus, it would have been a better movie. Make note of that, Kevin Smith.
Our gear is from Rode. We're part of the Iconoclast Network.